Now I'm going to move on to another way to look at group rotation, and I'm doing this intraday. By the way, these views are available with the installation of HGSI unless I have modified them, and I'm always making modifications. And to get the latest views, filters, and combo, you have to join my Insiders Club. It's $25 a month or $200 for the year. So it's extremely affordable, and that way you'll have the latest. Anyway, let's take another look or look at this a different way. I'm going to go ahead and close the warehouse. I'm going to go into the designer. Remember, I am using a Thinkorswim, so these quotes are going to be current. And I'm just going to go up here to my reference groups under industries. I'm going to select the industries folder. I'm going to just go ahead and take this filter off so you can see that all of the industries are over here. By the way, I took the filter off by holding my shift key and clicking on the filter. And now I'm going to select rebuild industries and groups. Now remember, these quotes for the stocks within these groups are no older than 5 minutes. I have my updating set on 5 minutes, so you can see how quickly that happened. So if I go in here and then go to my top-down analysis, these are the VPA scorecard trend combos. This is looking at the trends over here, and I want something that is more current. So I'm going to go to my number 2 view, demand supply, advancers divided by decliners, and so on. And then I'm going to click on advancing issues divided by declining issues. Now, this is interesting. I did this about 15 minutes ago, and semiconductors were on top, and now the renewable energy equipment index is showing 15 advancers and 1 decliner, and these semiconductor manufacturers 30 advancers and 2 decliners. Let's go down here and look for the semiconductor devices index. You can see it is 47 advancers and 16 decliners. So this information is current, and this shows me exactly what's happening in the market. Now you can see infrastructure software is doing fine. Surprisingly, the tobacco index has 7 advancers and no decliners and so on. But going down to the far end of this, make this full screen, you can see the transport services index, 4 decliners, no advancers. And home builders, they're weak today. TOL missed their earnings, and that has hurt the entire group. 21 decliners and 3 advancers. But this gives you a totally different look at where this strength and weakness is. I'm just going to bring up this chart here. You can see that the group has sold off recently, but there are some buyers coming in today. Volume has a lot left to be desired to really confirm this move up, but as of now, this group is doing fine. Now, if you want to see where the strength is within these groups, all you have to do is change to the industry group and then go to a different view. And I'm going to use my scorecard intraday view. And if I sort on raw combo, it's going to tell me exactly where the strength within this industry group is. And it's at First Solar is up 5.45%. DayQ, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, 7.38. Canadian Solar's up there too. If I sort on intraday price change, I can get the highest percentage groups or stocks to the top, and you can see that there was a sharp sell-off yesterday, and there are buyers stepping up today. Let's just flip through these. First Solar has been hanging in there. This was obviously a shakeout yesterday, and it looks like it wants to go higher. Now, Jinko Solar, this one has been a lot weaker, but it's up 3.99%. Anyway, it's really easy to go from the industry groups, and I'm going to go back up to the industry groups, from the number 2 views, sorting on advancers versus decliners, and then you right mouse click, you go to the industry group, and then I'll go to my scorecard, not end of day, I want intraday, and once again I can see where the strength is within this group. If I sort on percentage price change, it tells me that ASYS is the biggest percentage gainer, but then you bring the chart up, you can see there's a lot of overhead resistance here. This is strictly bottom fishing at this point. You can see that it's well off of its intraday, the high of its intraday range. In fact, that information is right here, 62.79%. One thing I like to do is I like to sort on the percent intraday range, and this tells me that the UMC, even though it's negative, is at the top of its range. And I can bring this up. That's a little $2.60 stock, but it is showing me that there is some buying pressure because it's at the top of its daily range. Here's AMKR. You can see where it is on its intraday range, pulling back a little bit. So interestingly enough, even though this group is very strong, you can see that these stocks, most of them are, well, let's see, from this point on, down at least 1/3 from, these are down at least 1/3 from the top of their daily range. So these stocks could be losing momentum. Okay. I'm going to go back to the industries. This time I'm going to go to the sectors. I'll go into the designer, and I'm going to rebuild indexes and group, and this time I'm doing it through the sectors rather than the industry group. You can do it either way. There's also major industries. In fact, I'll do that very quickly. This consolidates some of the groups that are in the industries. Let's just take a look at this. I'll go demand supply, and this tells me that forest and paper products are doing well. Here's renewable energy again. Here's the semiconductors with all the semiconductors in the major group. It's number 3. And down at the bottom you see metals and mining. So once again, this is another way to look at the intraday rotation and strength and weakness in HGSI. I'll be back with additional videos. I'll be doing one more on rotation, and then I'll start looking at some other things.